Hey man.
Hey, what's happening, Mark? How you
It's
doing?
really cool. I was doing this session last week where I'm taking that class at George Mason.
Right.
And we had to meet synchronously to do some stuff.
Right.
But before that, I was doing the training with my kids for the virtual elective we're doing.
Okay.
And we're doing some really cool stuff, editing with Google Docs. So it's really getting to the point where we're going to be able to show that this whole thing about synchronous, online learning is really going to work for them. I think it's going to be really exciting to be able to have this stuff to show, you know what I mean?
I don't know, Mark. I mean, we have all these students here who have language barriers, who don't have the proper backgrounds, and I just can't see them being successful if the language isn't there or if the support's not there. They're going to get frustrated and just be, not. They're going to lose it. They're not going to want it. They're not going to be interested. I don't know.
I can see your concerns, but wait. We really can come up with plans to help them. We can teach them the skills ahead of time. We can even have, for instance, kind of like a team-taught approach to a virtual class. And the thing about it is, we have both your synchronous, in-person, live-action stuff, and then you have your like Blackboard type learning management system stuff that supports them. And if we use kind of like an integrated approach with that kind of stuff and give them those kind of challenges and help them meet those, give them computers when we can, loaner laptops and stuff like that, I think it will help them out, because the thing we got to keep in mind is if we do not focus in some way and teach them 21st century skills, we're kind of condemning them to secondary economic status in the future. So it can be addressed. I know it's a concern, but it can be addressed.
I don't know, Mark. I mean, I took an online class 2 summers ago, and I felt it was very challenging because I didn't have that in-class experience. I didn't have a professor to talk to, and it was just frustrating. Sometimes the computer wasn't working. Sometimes, I felt like I was waiting for responses. It was just like, long time, and I just don't think that the kids would like that. I don't know.
Well, lest I repeat myself, but wait, there's more.
Ooh.
Yeah, you know that not all online learning situations are good. Not all teachers are really skilled at what they're doing. It can be a real block to learning, but the thing about it is you can design a class that has all kinds of engagement type of activities. You can have orientation sessions to build community before you start the class. You can have teacher lounge sessions where the kids can come in and feel connected, get supported.
No, we definitely didn't do that.
Yeah.
It was just like, bam!
Yeah.
Here's the curriculum, get working.
And the really cool thing is you can use humor. Like you can have meet the dogs, like if you have dogs or cats where there's a moment, you can have your dog come over, you know what I mean?
Yeah, we have 2 dogs.
Yeah,
we bring them into
do that, yeah. Yeah.
But, I keep going back, as a technology teacher, and just think about technology. If technology problems come up, who's gonna fix them? There's nobody there. What's gonna technology problems? If we're not well trained, if teachers and students, it won't work.
Well, it's kind of like with the whole thing about the good class to engage you. If you build it, they'll come. And the whole thing about this, technology problems, and that is an issue. But if we start training them little bits at a time, making it available, if we have thought proactively ahead of time and have coaching documents prepared, if we've even made some screencast videos showing them how to get through things, that if they can just get to Blackboard, they can get to that stuff, and that stuff can help them get into the classrooms. That stuff can teach them the skills they need to do to be participants. And the really cool thing you'll find is once they get into the classroom, you don't have to be the first one to teach them. Their other classmates will jump in and coach them and lead them and respond in blog posts and stuff like that. That's really cool.
You made a comment though that again concerns me. You said once they get to Blackboard, but Mark, I mean, what about these kids who don't have computers, who don't have access to all this hardware? I mean, we're dooming them. If how can we give all the kids an opportunity if they don't have a computer?
Well, we won't be able to meet all needs, it's true. But we do have about 20 computers, as far as I know, that have been reserved for loaner laptops. Those can be checked out. And the really cool thing about that is before they take it home, you can coach them into how to do those technology problem-solving things. They can learn to use it. Then all they have to have is the internet connection.
Right.
Which is simple to teach them how to make. Now that won't address all needs, but that will address some. And
Right.
you never know. You can't plan on this. You never know when somebody with a little bit of money might hear of this kind of thing and fund a little bit of availability of technology for the disadvantaged.
Maybe the PTA.
Maybe PTA. You don't know. You don't know. You
Yeah,
don't know.
I kind of like that. Well, I mean, we as looking at all the kids and what they do, they go online. They just want to chill out. They want to go to YouTube. They want to go, read what's happening in the gossip. They want to go to Facebook. They don't want to go. Come on, Mark. I mean, you give a kid a computer. They want to just.
Man,
they don't want to think.
I know. I have heard that. That's a tired old dog. That dog can't hunt no more. That's what I'm saying to you. I get the point. The thing is, we don't have to give up and just abdicate to the internet being just the entertainment environment. Because, and the thing you can do is you can add in that game-type, problem-based learning approach, wrap that around the activities. It's death if all you do is take what you do in the face-to-face classroom and put that into the online classroom. No, that's not what we're talking about. We're talking about making an engaging experience. And when you start thinking about all the other things you can add in, such as making connections with students in other schools in our district, or even making connection with students and teachers based in the nation, and then stop and think about how much will it benefit them culturally and learning-wise to talk to research experts from literally around the world.
I think about that.
Yeah.
But what about the people who say, but my child's on the computer all the time. They're always on the computer. They don't socialize. They don't get out and play. What about that? I mean, really, that's, are we raising a generation of children who don't talk?
To a certain extent, that might be a concern, but we've got to be careful we're not thinking with the mindset of the way we were raised and what we're used to. There really is truth to the fact these kids are digital natives. They really are living in that kind of environment where they communicate with text, whether we like it or not. They communicate with text. They communicate on Facebook. We can use that familiarity and insert that learning aspect into it.
Yes.
And if you make it engaging enough, again, you got to be planning for this kind of stuff. You got to insert this into your virtual class course design. But you can make it engaging. Again, if you build it properly, they will come.
I like that. Well, okay, you're starting to get me kind of excited about this, but I teach middle school children, as you know, and I have a problem sometimes getting them to pay attention, to stay on task. So what's going to prevent them when they're without a teacher, keeping them engaged and motivated? I mean, that's something that could be a problem.
Stop and think about it. What if you had an aspect of your lesson you could call shock and awe, where you're playing off what you ended up with the time before? And you have, all right, you learned that this last time. Now you're going to have to think and apply that to this new situation. You can make it a kind of like a controversial type of thing. So that gets their engagement in. And the other aspect is just, again, you don't have to abdicate to the inattention. And stop and think about it. If you're doing an online class and you're using all the interactive tools, like the emoticons that can show you whether they want you to go faster or slower, or whether they're confused, or the whole chat feature. In a classroom, how many people can meaningfully talk at one time? One. On a chat window, as part of a synchronous virtual classroom, you know how many can talk meaningfully at once? Multiple. You can develop the ability to watch that, speak to them with your microphone, get them engaged that way. And again, you'll find that you don't always have to be the one to respond to the students. You can be doing that, but you can also be monitoring how they're responding to each other. And the really cool thing is, you as the moderator can see the private chat, so you can respond to that as well.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah.
But I have a hard time, though, getting over that students will do well in an online class. It's just a hard concept for me to grasp as someone who, who's been teaching for many years and, was raised with books.
Yeah, I love books. I love books.
So do I. I mean, it's just,
I love to lay down at night and fall asleep with a book.
Yeah, that's the best way to go to sleep.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah.
But I mean, how, is that something that, how well will students do in an online class?
Not all will. Not all should take online classes. I'm sure you can think right now, kids in your classes that would probably do well in an online class. Kids with little support and pre-experienced coaching could do well.
Right.
And some kids that would not be serious and should not even think of attempting it. And that doesn't mean you don't make it available to them, but you should be aware that they might either need more support or they just wouldn't thrive in it. Like not all teachers would do well teaching an online class.
And that's, I was just, kind of thinking about that. We've been talking about the kids, but what about the teachers? I mean...
Well, there's staff development, obviously, that can be given specifically, but not just, this is a technology and this is a lesson. It's focused research, as much research as we have to this point, strategies to engage people in that virtual environment.
Will teachers take this seriously, though?
Some will. And I think as it's being pushed down from university level, so it's coming. It's filtering, as you know, in the high schools, and it's going to be coming down to this level eventually because we are not doing our job if we do not prepare them, number one, for high school, number two, for college, number three, for life in the 21st century. How can we say we're doing that if we don't begin to take this stuff to them?
All right, and then, so I'm thinking, middle school friends, what about socialization? How are they going to,
Dude, you know that comment about that dog being tired and ain't hunting no more?
Yep.
That dog ain't hunting no more. You can build that whole thing about the teacher's lounge engagement. You'll find that they become more acquainted with each other because of the more personal, intense blog sharing, posting. The community does build.
Right.
And besides, who has said they should take all of their classes online? Some might, like homebound students. That would be great for them. Plus, we give those kids who have to be isolated because of health reasons or other things community, even if it's a virtual community. And besides, even if a kid is taking all their classes online, a properly motivated parent will make sure they get proper socialization. And besides, you've been in the hallways at class change time. You've seen in the classrooms. Is that really always positive socialization?
You're right.
I mean, come on, man.
Yeah, I hear you. I'll tell you what, Mark, when you came in here talking about this, I was kind of like, no way, it's just, but you bring up some really good points. It's, it's definitely the way to go. Things are changing. I mean, and I think
times, they are changing.
They are, and I think a lot of people, with me teaching technology, I see it coming, but there's a lot of teachers and administrators and parents who don't see it, and I think if we can educate them now so that it won't be shocking and be like, oh.
That's just it. We've got to basically sell them on it. You've got to put it in a position, develop little sample type chunks of things. Yeah, right on, man. Right on.
All right, excellent. Nice job, man.
You too, if you build it, they will come.
I like that.